Yo, 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 what is up, YouTube boxing family? It's K right here. I'm back with another good video for you guys today. I'm gonna be talking on Miss Beautiful Caroline Dubois. Is she the truth of boxing, or does she have development left, or does she have developing to do to become a good up and coming rising fighter? For those of you that don't know Caroline Dubois, she is the sister of Danny Dubois, who won the secondary, WBA heavyweight regular title off of Albany, New York's own Trevor Bryan, who was the former titleist, and yeah, Danny Dubois is, I guess he's currently still the champion until the WBA gets rid of that belt. So, I mean, congratulations to Danny. Like, I've always thought of Danny to be skillful, but I think his skill set is still, green. And I would like to see him come over to the States where he can get better. And I think Danny's a very good ass fighter. But definitely has tons of work to do. Same thing with Trevor Bryan, but just wanted to kind of like give them shout outs. They're very good fighters, absolute warriors. And same thing with this girl, Caroline Dubois. She naturally got me clicked onto her, and I just like how she's growing, man. She's like an absolute monster. She fights at lightweight. Destructive southpaw. Would I really say she's a boxer puncher? I'd say not really, because the opponents that she's fighting women with, losing records. She hasn't really put herself up there with like anybody with like a winning record yet. And it's not to say that she can't do it. It's just that I just need to see it. I think the best opponents here on this list would definitely be anybody in the top 15. And I think the best perfect opponent where she could really put herself out there would be like women like Chelsea Anderson. I would love to see that fight. Maybe Firuza Sharapova. She's a very good fighter. I love watching her fight a lot. She's an absolute beast. Much love to her. Who's the other lady? I mean, there's really not that much here at lightweight, but maybe Estelle Mosley. I mean, that's a good fight. She got decent, decent skills. She's not like the greatest, but she definitely has skills, and I definitely give her props for what she does. She actually barely edged out up against Yanina Del Carmen Lescano, and she's a beast too. Doesn't really punch too much, but she definitely can have like a high, work rate. But I think even at 3 minute levels, I think some of these women at the lightweight division can easily go the full distance if it was a 12 round 3 minute war. But knowing how women's boxing is being watered down to just 2 minute fights, it's just like there's really nothing you could really see out of like what women can can do. And I'm just never really sold on it, because it's just like when people say like, oh well, this lady's like a better boxer than that other lady because she outboxed her, blah blah blah. But it's like, you have to think about it, like 2 minutes makes a huge difference when you can't really outbox somebody for 2 minutes. Like 3 minutes, that's a bigger difference, especially for men's boxing, because for men, they have to think it out a lot more strategically of how they operate with their shots. But for women, they just do rock'em sock'em robots 9 times out of 10. And not to say like not like not to say that every woman does it. It's just like from my own observation, like I just don't see women hyperscaling to that level of just boxing. Like Caroline, she's a rare breed of what very, very few boxer punchers in the world would do, to actually go a full distance or try to make it to the final, like to let the final punches of trying to knock somebody out. And she does very well with that. But let's review her skills. She's a southpaw, very destructive southpaw. Southpaws run boxing. Shout out to all my southpaws. I love all my southpaws. I'm a southpaw myself because I box. But the thing about her is that she's a very interesting breed of a southpaw. She has destructive power, but that power can only go so far. Where we could see her, just blow people out that are just not good because they're women that are not at the super top, upper echelon. And I think with a woman of her caliber, she has amazing physique of like what she does at lightweight, but like it makes me think that she doesn't need to be at that weight. I think she's only doing it just to take advantage of what's being put in front of her. Because if anything, Katie Taylor, she's gonna give up those belts. Within I would probably say at least within like a couple years. From now, I don't think Katie Taylor's gonna continue boxing for ever. I think Katie, she'll probably do a couple more title defenses and then maybe just call it quits after that because it's like she's not moving up to 140. She's not gonna do anything at 147, and it's not to say that she can't do it. It's just like she's not showing any energy to say like, oh well, I want bigger challenges. But you got women like like Jessica McCaskill that wants all the smoke and. She wants that Katie rematch and Katie don't even want it. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's just like, I love Katie Taylor. Outside of boxing, she seems like a very nice, lady. But I just think maybe based off of what she's gone through as far as wars per se, she looks to be like one of those fighters where she basically shows to you that, like, she's just she's just basically a worn out fighter. It's not to say Katie can't. It's not to say that Katie can't do more enough in the sport. It's just that she's done too much sacrificing of like what she's been doing at her career that at this point Katie's career is just basically over. She doesn't seem to have that the same step. She doesn't seem to like really have that much how should I say that many miles left or that much dexterity or just physical capacity to keep up. So I personally think when it comes to Caroline's future, she has all the leverage to get the belts because Matchroom will definitely try to line her up when she gets herself in position to get ranked and all that. And I'm pretty sure, that the political ranking system, especially for UK fighters to get title shots, especially through DAZN and Matchroom, especially for her caliber, she'll definitely get up there pretty fast. But I'm just not really sold on what Caroline is doing so far to get up there. I think it's going to be a lot easier for her because when Katie, when she's done with boxing, and even if she still wants to stay, and let's just say Caroline does fight her, within I'd say at least, within 10 fights, when she's at when she's at least 10-0 or 11 and 0, I think that's where Matchroom will definitely try to move her fast enough to get a title. And it's not to say she can't get any titles now. It's just where do you start with her to put her next to a woman like Clarissa? Because I definitely like how she does look up to Clarissa Shields, but the problem is that Clarissa, she was being tested with title shot opportunities after title shot opportunities. So that level of breed coming from her, I'm just not too sure if that's gonna be something that I could really say, yeah, she'll basically do the same thing what Clarissa did. And I can't really say she's gonna do the same thing because she definitely has some holes in her game. And I will say, like as far as the boxing goes, she definitely could fight. Like a fight her butt off. The one thing I don't like is the footwork. I think when it comes to footwork, she is sometimes a little bit flat-footed. She tries to press forward versus letting the fight come to her. I think she's just trying to listen too much to what the audience wants from her to say she needs to start knocking people out, and it's like I don't think she possesses as much destructive power, but it's definitely volume punching power. Even with her with her last with her last opponent, she was like 33, 34 years of age, and she definitely had some tough fights herself, but she definitely came to fight. She definitely gave Caroline a couple punches, but Caroline did she did what she had to do to get the job done, but the amount of punches that it took for her to stop a woman like her, that pretty much explains to me you don't possess as much power that people try to make it out to be. And boxing is not all about getting knockouts. Boxing, when it comes to power, it's all about how much punch do you set up technically to destroy an opponent's will, in a course of a battle, to be respected, to basically show to your opponent that when you land a destructive punch, they know not to come back in because they know what you possess. Because that's how, similar to what animals that are predators versus prey, sometimes, the predator ends up becoming the prey, and then the prey ends up becoming, the predator, vice versa. So whenever you see the opportunity to think that this animal's going to win, but the other animal ends up beating that animal, then that basically shows those animals give each other respect, or just mutual grounds to basically show to one another that you have a different gear to go to if you want to take it to that level. So boxing is kind of similar of that regard. You have to have that killer instinct. Very similar to war in a way. And I mean, I using Mortal Kombat as a great example, because even in Mortal Kombat, when characters come come face to face and they want to fight, they want to fight each other, they don't do it based out of what they believe in. They do it because it's a killer mindset to know this is just you. There's a reason why Baraka went after Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage had that instinct to know, Baraka does not care who you are. If he sees the opportunity to kill somebody, he's going to go after you and kill you, or attempt to kill you. But the thing is Baraka, compared to any other character in Mortal Kombat, he does not scale as high to those characters. So he knows his place as a character to know, okay, if I mess with Scorpion, 9 times out of 10 he's gonna end up killing me, because Scorpion, he possesses the more dangerous skill set of him being a more destructive fighter, to end up either killing Baraka or making Baraka basically respect him. So that's not the same thing in boxing. I'm just using that as a fictitious analogy. But with Caroline's physique and her style, that style definitely does scare a lot of those girls in that division. And I think the reason why she's in this division is because of the lack of competition there are with the amount of ladies that would put up a good fight with her, and basically force her to basically end up being the quote-unquote boogeyman of that division. I do believe that when it comes to Caroline's ability to grow, she's definitely there at the world title level. We just need to see veteran level fights before you could say she's ready for a world title. Um, I think she's ready within, at least like a couple fights from now. Definitely ranging from like fight number, 8 to 10, or if not, above 10 fights. I think within 10 fights or more, like that's where I will be confident to say that um Caroline is definitely ready. But the level of opponents that we're seeing with her I'm not too sold on her yet. Just simply of like me believing in her to make me think, as a American supporter to say like, okay, she's not coming all the way over here to the States to test out levels of competition. And obviously there's really nobody out here except for, I probably say Chelsea Anderson, and who's that other chick? Like maybe Mia Ellis, but I think she fights at. Actually, yeah, she fights at 126 or 130. Yeah, I think she fights at 130. So forget about that fight. But she definitely has some names. She doesn't really have just those names in particular, but I think like when it just comes to like the world title level opposition, there's really nobody there at lightweight because Katie Taylor is obviously holding the division hostage. She doesn't want to do anything else but just fight women that no one asks her to fight. But then when it comes, with like a very dangerous level name fighter, she'll say, "Oh well, it has to go through Eddie Hearn, blah blah blah," and she's gonna, use like whatever nonsensical mechanism of saying that she don't need to be fighting any of these tougher level opponents. But it's just like the politics play in her favor, where she doesn't need to be fighting tougher level names until like a tougher level name is actually mandated up against her. And I think the biggest issue with Katie is that when you look at her way of how she got moved compared to any other fighter with her credentials, like Clarissa Shields, Katie will not do what Clarissa did to move herself to the direction of becoming a divisional undisputed world champion in two separate weight classes, and on top of that become unified at a third weight class that she didn't even need to clean up. She just basically left that division and just go back down to her natural weight at 154 or 160. But technically she's like a natural middleweight, and I think that's pretty much what she does. She doesn't need to do much anymore because she's already beat up everybody. And I mean, the only thing I could ever see Clarissa ever do if she really wants to challenge greatness is probably go after Franchon Cruz in a rematch, potentially become a 3 division undisputed world champion. And then on top of that, she could end up facing Hannah Gabriel maybe again, because I think she's a champion at heavyweight. I think that's at like what, 175. But I don't know. I don't think Clarissa would want to gain 15 more pounds and have all that weight stacked up against her. So I don't I don't think that's a smart idea. I think 160 is her cap, and then maybe if she can make 154, I say go for it. But I don't think 154 is like a feasible option. But I think 160 is gonna be her cap weight, and then if she could dip back into 168, she'll do it. But as far as Caroline's career goes, I definitely see her grabbing belts at 135. The only issue is like how she's going to be moved, because she's obviously with Boxer promotions with Ben Shalom, and I don't like Ben Shalom. I'll probably talk about him in another video, because he's been saying he said that shady shit about Clarissa Shields during the Savannah Marshall press conference. But um, I think when it comes to Caroline, she definitely has a great future outside of that promotional company. And I think knowing that she's slowly but surely gaining a very large UK, crowd that definitely supports her. The biggest issue that I have is like, Ben Shalom coming in the mix and kind of screwing things up if she's not able to get what she deserves. And even though that Clarissa, she's on that same boat with Dimitri Salita, but I think the difference is that Clarissa, she is her own boss at the end of the day. But with Caroline, with Boxer Promotions, I'm just not too sure of like what she's planning on doing, of like what she's orchestrating her fights to be, because it's like the issue is like how much longer would you be with Boxer? Because like to me, like, I like the platform. I think Boxer is like another DAZN type, platform, and they definitely do a very good job having fights scheduled. But the issue with Boxer is that they're definitely not like the PBC. They're not like Top Rank. They definitely have a fixed, income of who they could bring onto the roster for people to fight each other. Because if they really, made moves, I think Ben Shalom, if he's really confident of putting fighters, up there with any other promotional, level fighter, especially like a PBC or top rank fighter, in which I think PBC is basically like the more dangerous opposition. In which it's not to say that, not every PBC fighter is like, Superman with their skills, but at the level of competition that they're fed in their career, it's heavy level matchmaking. But with everything with Caroline's matchmaking so far, definitely not the greatest, but I think it could definitely do better. I think eventually when everything is all said and done, she will have a pretty good career in dominating 135, and I think she'll do the same at 140, and definitely 147, and then I don't know about 154. I don't think she's like that super duper big, but she definitely looks more of like a natural like welterweight female fighter. But I mean that's pretty much how I see her. I think she is a heavily talented woman, and hopefully we get to see more out of her, because I think the greatness is definitely coming with Sweet Caroline. And oh, by the way, to all you Brits trying to say Sweet Caroline is a British song, no, it's an American song. The artist he was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. In Brooklyn. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. You've been playing American music to pretend as if that's your song. So I'm just putting that out there for all the weird people in the back trying to say, oh no, mate, the Brits created that song, and then come to find out the artist was born and raised in the city. So how the hell did Brits influence that? I don't know, but that's some stupidity crap 101 from them. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about Caroline Dubois. Do you think this is a very good step in the right direction of what she's doing? Do you think she will, achieve greatness in the sport? And what do you think will be next for her career? In the coming future. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Salute to the mighty LDBC and TWT. Bye.